أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome everybody to today's class. Jazakumullah for arriving on time and welcome. If you could just give us a few moments or a few seconds so that we can admit others into the meeting as well, please. Okay, so welcome. Today is Thursday, so we will start the class as usual with our opening prayer. And if I can ask my colleague to bring a student to the mic, please. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so let me just choose somebody. G2622. G2622. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
How are you?
I'm Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, yes, I'm very well. Jazakallah for asking. So, sweetheart, we always start with Dawood and then Tasmiyah. Would you be able to recite from what's on the screen?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
MashaAllah, very nice pronunciation. So let's just go down to Thursday. This dua, are you able to recite this by yourself?
Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'.
So I don't know whether you've just cut out there, but just read that last bit again, darling.
I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll help you, darling. Okay, so this is a fa, fi, and this is an ain. And when we end here, we do well done. Fi well done. So all together, Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a.
Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a.
MashaAllah, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Always pay attention to your timing as well, though, darling. Okay. This is a fatha here. Let me get my highlighter. Okay, a fatha. And that's for one count. The dhamma joins onto the meme anyway. So it's Allahumma and then inni. So always keep the timing at one count on this one. Okay, sweetheart. The translation, darling.
Allah, I ask you for beneficial knowledge.
And the reference. Ibn Majah.
Ibn Majah, Hadith number 925.
Yes, well done. So this is a dua that we will find in a collection of hadith or a hadith because that's the plural of a singular hadith, and it's in the collection known as Ibn Majah, and it's number 925 in that. Okay, very nice, very nice. Your pronunciation is very, very nice. So well done. Jazakumullah for a lovely start to the class. Allah Hafiz for now. Okay, so let's move on. Our etiquettes that we ask everybody to come to the class and pay attention to. I hope and pray that everybody has come to class in wudu and that you're all wearing clean clothes and that according to our tradition you have covered your heads. A scarf or a dupatta for Nasrat and members of Atfal should be wearing a topi or a cap. And you did, mashallah, arrive early, so well done. And it's important that you sit in a quiet place. Your learning depends on you being able to hear both the teacher and other students who come to the mic. And so being in a quiet place is actually really quite important. We really like if either a mum or a dad or somebody older who knows how to help you is sitting with you, because then they can help you after class if need be. And it's really important that you use your correct ID, because that way we can identify that you are meant to be in class, okay? And we like, for everybody's safety, for you to use your correct ID. Okay, so today, so we've got a fairly busy schedule here. So we've done our opening assembly. We'll now move on to a revision session, and we will do revising of Maddailin and Hamza Sakin, which are the topics that we've covered earlier this week. And then we'll practice some texts. Surah Al-Baruj we're on, and then we will learn parts 4 and 5 today, how they start and how they look in the place in the Quran where they sit. And then inshallah we'll have time to do some more practice text before going on to the consolidation bit at the end. So just before we get going, just a reminder from the Jalsa in charge that students have been selected for the various activities, and most of you have been contacted, and so you do know, but some of you, she was not able to get hold of your parents as yet. So if you see your ID there, you've actually been selected for these activities. So G2732 for Tilawat, 2664 for the translation of the Tilawat, 2550 for the Hadith, and then I'll just move down to the Nazm, 2674 for Nazm, 2663 for the Nazm translation, and for the English speech, which will be 2752. The prophecy is the main part of the Jalsa. Without the prophecy, we have to have the prophecy, and it is a long prophecy. So there's a fair number of students we've selected to read it all out, and some of you will have applied to say do the English translation for the Tilawat, or read at the Hadith, or maybe read at the Nazm translation. And if your reading was very good, we selected you to read out some of the prophecies. So that's why we've got quite a few of you here. So your ID is 2704, 2674, 2725, 2726, 2664, 2550, 2631, 2632. So those are the IDs that have been selected for the activities. And as I said earlier, the Jalsa in charge has actually contacted most of your parents, but the few that are remaining, she will try again this evening. So check with your mums and dads if they've had a phone call. Okay, so she would like everybody to come in at 5:15 tomorrow. Okay. I'm not sure whether she meant to write 5:45 there. I will, if I can ask my colleague to message the Jalsa in charge and find out whether she actually meant to write 5:45 there. But and we will confirm that later on, okay? But she would like all these participants to come into class a little bit earlier, so that we can have a quick rehearsal and a run through of the Jalsa. Okay, so let's now move on to our revision. And our revision today is on these topics. So let's start. Okay, let me use this. Oh, okay, bear with me for a second. Let me just share my other screen here. Okay, so our revision today is on the topics that you see on the screen right here. Okay, so let's get going. And the first thing that we're going to look at is Maddailin, the revision of that. And we're going to remind ourselves of some basics, because often we're able to understand things, but we forget some very basic things and then nothing makes sense. So we like on G2 to go back to the basics so that we have everybody on board. So a quick reminder that this symbol here that you see, that slanted stroke that's sitting above a line, that's a fatha. And a letter that carries a fatha is known as a maftu letter. So if you see, for example, a ba with a fatha on it, that will be a maftu ba. Okay. This symbol here in the pink box is known as a sukoon. And a letter that carries a sukoon is known as a sakin letter. So those are the basic things that we wanted to remind you of. What a fatha looked like and what a letter that carries a fatha is, maftu. What a sukoon looks like and what a letter carrying a sukoon is called, sakin. Okay, so maftu letters and sakin letters. Okay, lean. This is an Arabic word and it means to soften, to ease. And there are two letters known as huruful lean, and that's in Arabic, letters of lean. If you translate that into English, it's letters of ease. And those two letters are waw and ya. Okay, so just two letters known as huruful lean. Okay, so that is the basics of Madeleine. Let's look at Wowleen in particular. The fatha, short stroke of fatha is always one count. Any letter that carries a fatha will only take one count. This here is a wow and it carries a sukoon on top. So this is a wow sakin. Okay, remember, any letter that carries a sukoon is a sakin letter. So this is a wow sakin. Sometimes people will say sakin wow. Makes no difference, means the same thing. Now, when the short stroke of fatha is followed by a wow sakin, like this example here in the blue box, there's the short stroke of fatha, straight afterwards is a wow sakin. Then that wow is actually known as a wow lean. Okay? Now, it's really important that you note the difference, that this here is a wow sakin. It's a wow sakin because it's sitting on its own. Okay? This though, here, this is a wow lean. Why? Because it's a wow sakin straight after a fatha. And so it's known as a wow lean. And when you see this example in the Holy Quran, a wow sakin straight after a fatha, then you need to understand that it's a waw lean, and the waw lean will cause the easing of the maftu letter into the waw, and it takes two counts, and the sound that it will make will be ow, ow. So an ow sound. Example, this is a ha with a fatha, okay, and the sound that it makes is a ha, ha, for one count. It's a maftu ha because it's carrying a fatha. Now here we have a maftu ha and it's followed by a waw sakin. So that waw sakin is actually a waw lean. When we pronounce this, we read this as how, and that takes two counts. Meme with the fatha, it's a maftu meme. Why? Because any letter that carries a fatha is maftu. It takes one count. Ma, ma. When you have a waw sakin straight after a maftu letter, then you have the example of a waw lean. And there you need to take two counts and ease the sound into the waw. So this one you would read as mau, mau. Okay, two counts. And that's how you recognize a waw lean. Let's go to ya lean. Again, a fatha. And the short stroke of fatha is always one count. Here we have a ya with a sukoon on top. So this is a ya sakin. But when you see the short stroke of fatha followed by a ya sakin, like in this example in the orange box, then that becomes a ya leen. And it's really important again to notice the difference that when it's on its own, a ya with a sukoon, it's a basic ya sakin. But when there's a fatha just before a ya sakin, then it's in fact a ya leen, and so you need to ease the sound into it. Okay, and it will take 2 counts. Example, lam with a fatha. This is a maftu lam. It will take 1 count. La. Here we have a maftu lam followed by a ya leen. It's a ya leen because it's a ya with a sukoon and just before it is a fatha. So when we read this, we will read this as this. Lay, lay. This is a ba with a fatha. It's a maftu ba. Remember, any letter that carries a fatha is known as maftu. It takes 1 count. Ba. When it's followed by a ya sakin, then you have the example here, a maftu ba followed by a ya sakin. That ya sakin is in fact a ya leen. Why? Because there's a fatha just beforehand. So it will take 2 counts and it will read like this. Bay, bay. Okay, la becomes lay when there's a ya leen straight afterwards. Ba becomes bay when there's a ya sakin straight afterwards. Okay, so that is revising what you learned earlier this week about madde leen, both the waw leen and the ya leen. So if you can summarize all of that, okay, soft elongation, the easing of letters, the lean letters. A waw leen is when you have a waw sakin preceded by a fatha. Preceded is just a fancy way of saying something that comes just beforehand. So a waw sakin with a fatha just beforehand. And when you see this, you have to ease the sound of the maftu letter into the waw. A ya leen is a ya sakin preceded by a fatha. And when you see that, you ease the sound of the maftu letter into the ya. Okay? Now we use the word preceded here because actually that's the proper way of describing what a ya leen is or a waw leen is. Okay? But what it means is it's a ya sakin and just beforehand is a fatha. A waw sakin just beforehand is a fatha. Okay, let's move on to the other topic that you've covered this week, which is a hamza sakin. Hamza sakin is an alif or a hamza with a sukoon. So here we have an alif with a sukoon. This is known as a hamza sakin. Here we have a hamza with a sukoon. That's also known as a hamza sakin. Okay. Both of those are known as hamza sakin. When you see either an alif with a sukoon or a hamza with a sukoon, when you see a hamza sakin, you need to read it with a soft jerk. Just make a soft jerk whenever you see it. And be really careful not to make it into an ayn sound. Okay, so we'll have some practice in the practice text, and inshallah we'll be able to practice on that. Okay, now just point out 2 particular examples here. What you see in the blue box here, a ta with a dhamma followed straight afterwards with a waw, and on top of the waw is a hamza, and on top of the hamza is a sukoon. Now when you see this sort of example, don't ever think that this is a waw mad. Remember, a waw mad is a waw with a sukoon on top and there's a dhamma just beforehand. This is not a waw mad. Why? because there's a hamza there. You have to look at the hamza, and the hamza with the sukoon is what you read. So this is a hamza sakin, and when you read this, you will say tu, tu. Similarly here, this is a hamza sakin. You've got to be really careful and not think of this as an alif mad. Remember, an alif mad is an alif which has a fatha just beforehand. So you may think that this is an alif mad, but remember, when it's an alif mad, the alif has nothing on top. Here, the alif has a sukoon, so this is a hamza sakin. So when you read this, you read this as ta, ta. Okay? Okay, so that concludes our presentation for today. So if I can now go back to, okay, my other material. And now what we'll do is we'll go to our practice text of the day. Now, earlier this week, you started this chapter, so you will have had these facts read out to you. And so what we'll do is, if I can just close this and go to the practice text. Okay, so let me just make this a tiny bit smaller and go down to, so if I can have a student to the mic, please.
G2753, please unmute.
G2753, Assalamu alaikum. G2753. G2753, Assalamu alaikum.
G2746, please unmute yourself.
G2746, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Anybody can come to the mic today?
They're unmuted, but I don't think we can hear them.
Okay.
G2693.
G2693, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so that's the first. Wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Welcome to the mic. How are you, darling?
Alhamdulillah, and you?
Yes, alhamdulillah. Very well, jazakumullah. So, sweetheart, I believe yesterday in the class, the teacher reached the end of this verse here, okay? And so we will move on to this, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do, we've done Dawood and Tasmir already earlier in the class, so we don't have to repeat it now. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll read through this particular verse. What I'll do is I'll read, and if you can listen and then follow with me, and everybody else at home also listen and follow along. Just because you're not on the mic doesn't mean that you don't practice, okay? So we're going to start here with the fa, okay? فَسَوْفَ
فسوف
يَدْعُو.
يدعو.
Well done. A little bit less bounce on the dal, okay? Yad'u.
يدعو.
Okay, we'll work on that, okay? Thubura.
ثبورا.
Well done, okay. So when we put it all together, فَسَوْفَ يَدْعُو ثُبُورًا.
فسوف يدعو ثبورا.
MashaAllah, well done. Okay, and if I could just clear up my screen a little bit. Okay, here is an example of a wawlin. It's a waw sakin, and just beforehand is a fatha. Okay, so that's why I read it as fasawfa. Okay, let's move on to the next verse. وَيَصْلَى سَعِيرًا.
ويصلى سعيرا.
Well done, really nice. One more time, let's practice from here. Sa'ira.
سعيرا.
Well done. So let's put this together. Sa'ira.
سعيرا.
Well done. Okay. So, وَيَصْلَى سَعِيرًا.
ويصلى سعيرا
MashaAllah. Okay. Let's move on to here. إِنَّهُ
إنه
كَانَ فِي
كان في
أَهْلِهِ
أهله
مَسْرُورًا.
مسرورا
Well done. Okay, so all together. إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا.
إنه كان في أهله مسرورا
MashaAllah, well done. Okay, so sweetheart, can I just ask you now to read from here to here by yourself?
فسوف يدعو ثبورا ويصلى سعيرا إنه كان في أهله مسرورا
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, very, very nice. Okay, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic. That was really, really nice reading. Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz for now.
جزاك الله خير.
Allah Hafiz. If you could have another student to the mic, please.
G2687, please unmute yourself.
G2687, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. 2628.
G2676, please unmute yourself.
2676, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very well. Jazakumullah, darling. How about yourself?
Good.
Good, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we will carry on from here, okay? I'll read, you follow, everybody else at home also follow along, okay? Innahu
Innahu
zanna.
zanna.
Well done. Innahu zanna.
Innahu zanna.
Allan yahur.
Allan yahur.
MashaAllah, well done. Okay, so when I read in bits, it becomes sometimes a little bit tricky because you get so used to reading in a flow. So let's now do it all together. Innahu zanna allan yahur.
Innahu zanna. Ay, ay,
Okay, it's okay. Alif and this lam. We haven't yet covered this rule, okay? Inshallah soon. Here we're just going to say al. Ignore the noon, okay? Allay.
Allay
Yahur.
yahur.
Well done. Okay, one more time. Innahu zanna allan yahur.
Innahu zanna allan yahur.
Well done. Okay. So sometimes when you're reading and you're going from the end of the line to the next line, you have to move your eyes quite quick and your tongue has to follow along quite quickly. Okay. So sometimes it's an idea just to practice the join as it were. So you can say Zonna allan.
Zanna allan.
Okay. So now have a go at reading the whole thing.
Okay. Innahu zanna an alayahur.
Okay. I understand why you're getting confused there, okay? It's because of this noon here, and we haven't done, there's a rule that we will come to soon, and you will understand, but we don't read this noon, even though it's there, okay? It's the alif and the lam that we're going to join, and we're going to ignore the noon. And then it's the same rule that tells us to ignore the noon also tells us to make this lam and this noon and this ya join in this ain sound, okay? And so you're getting confused at the moment because you're seeing noons and you're thinking why we're not reading them. But inshallah soon, okay? You will understand. Okay, so let's carry on. Bala
Bala.
inna rabbahu
Inna Rabbahu
kana bihi.
kana bihi.
Well done. Okay, with the kaf, try and smile as you make the sound. Okay, kana bihi
Kana bihi
basira.
basira.
Well done. Okay, all together. Bala inna rabbahu kana bihi basira.
Bala inna Rabbahu kana bihi basira.
Well done. Well done. Okay, let's move on. فلا
Fala
أقسم.
uqsimu
And here we're going to join the ba with the sheen, okay? بالشفق.
bishafaq.
Well done. فلا أقسم بالشفق.
Fala uqsimu bishafaq.
Well done. Okay, so from here, darling, yeah, to here, read by yourself, darling.
Okay. Innahu zanna allan yahur. Bala inna rabbahu kana bihi basira. Fala uqsimu bishafaq.
Mashallah, mashallah. Really, really nice reading. Very nice. So see how when you practice later on, okay, when you come to the end of the line and to the next line, you have to move your eyes quite quickly. Your tongue has to follow very quickly, and it becomes tricky. I do understand, yeah. So when you're doing it, just practice the join, yeah. So if you're having a bit of difficulty, just practice the join and then put the whole verse together, and that tends to help make you more fluent. Okay. Okay. Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, darling. Allah Hafiz for now. And if I
Allah
can have another
Hafiz.
student, Allah Hafiz. If I can have another student to the mic.
G2 664, please unmute yourself.
G2664. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking, darling. Okay, so we will start from here. Okay, let's move up a bit. And again, if I lead and you follow, okay?
Okay.
والليل وما وسق.
Walayli wa ma wasaka.
Okay, well done. Okay, when we're here, okay, we're going to join this lam with this wow, okay? So if I can just highlight it one more time here and here. والليل
Walayli
وما وسق.
wa ma wasaka.
Well done. Okay, and here we're going to join this wow with this lam. والقمر
Wal qamari
إذا اتسق.
idat tasak.
Well done. Okay, so if you make them a bit more fluent now, okay? والليل وما وسق.
Walayli wa ma wasaka.
Okay, be careful, yeah? There is a tashdid there, yeah? So press down, okay? وَاللَّيْلِ وَمَا وَسَقَ.
وَاللَّيْلِ وَمَا وَسَقَ
Yeah. وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
Okay, well done, okay? Oh, try and get this sound from the very back of your mouth, okay? Oh, قمري.
قمري.
Well done. And this thal, okay? When you say in English that or this, the way that your tongue goes in between your teeth, that's how you should make this sound, okay? For this letter. إذا اتسق.
إِذَا May you
إذا.
repeat it one more time?
Okay, yeah. إذا
إِذَا
اتسق.
إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
Well done. Okay. And now we're moving on to the next verse. لتركبن.
لَتَرْكَبُنَّ.
Well done. لتركبن طبقا.
لَتَرْكَبُنَّ سَبَقًا.
Okay, well done. Okay, let's just do it from the na, okay? Na طبقا.
طَبْقًا.
Well done. Okay, so now let's put it together. لتركبن طبقا.
لَتَرْكَبُنَّ طَبْقًا
Well done. عن طبق.
عن طبق.
Well done. Okay, so one more time from here to here. Have a go by yourself, darling.
وَاللَّيْلِ وَمَا وَسَقَ وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
Okay. Mhm.
لَتَرْكَبُنَّ طَبَقًا.
Okay, this is very tricky. This is very tricky. You've done really, really well. Okay, so again, when you're coming to the end of the line and you're moving to the next line, it is something that you need to practice on. Okay, so always just try and do the join and then see if it works. Okay, let me read this with you and you follow with me. Okay, make sure that you press down on this lam. Okay, وَاللَّيْلِ وَمَا وَسَقَ.
وَاللَّيْلِ وَمَا وَسَقَ
Well done. وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
وَقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, ذال. Okay, say the the. Okay, now this is a da. Okay, so the tip of your tongue is just inside of your front two teeth, touching the top of your mouth. Da.
the
Well done. Okay, so now what you've got to do is take the dhal, the tongue is in between your teeth, and then you've got to move it to just behind your teeth and touch the top of your mouth to the da sound. Okay, so that's why you're finding it difficult, because the tongue has to move quite quickly. That.
the
Well done. Okay, so that's the right sound. So now let's make it sound as it's supposed to. Okay, وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا اتَّسَقَ.
Mashallah, mashallah, very nice. لتركبن طبقا.
لَتَرْكَبُنَّ
طبقا
طَبَقًا
عن طبق.
عن طَبَقٍ.
Mashallah, mashallah. That was a tricky verse and you done really, really well. Okay, so
I have a
Jazakumullah for coming.
question.
Yes, darling.
You know how you put the ba and the noon together? Do you also put the da with it, or do you do banna and then the da different, like separate?
So are you talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a ba here and a noon here. And what we do, it's not quite clear, but that's a tashdid. So what we do is we make the ba and the noon join, and then we have to make a gunna sound on the noon. Bunna.
Bunna.
Well done. So that's what we're doing there. We're joining those two and we're pressing down on the noon.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay then. Jazakumullah, darling. Allah Hafiz for now. Okay.
Yes.
Allah Hafiz. Okay. So let's now move very quickly on to our the parts of the Quran. So earlier this week, Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim, which was the start of part 1, and Sayaqul, which is the beginning of part 2. And then yesterday, you did the beginning of part 3. So today we are going to look at the part 4 and part 5. We're going to do 2 parts today because tomorrow we've got the Jalsa, so we won't be able to do it tomorrow. So part 4 starts with Ali Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 93. And it starts with this set of letters here. Lan tanalu. Okay? Now let me show you if I can where is my, here it is. Okay. Let me show you. Okay. Bear with me for 1 second, okay? Okay, so if I can just check with my colleague, is my screen showing?
Yes, we can see the Holy Quran.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, mashallah. Okay, part 4, and up here you can see it's chapter number 3, verse number 93 that I've typed in, okay? And it's taken me straight there. There's verse number 93. In the Arabic, if you look how it starts, lan tadalu, okay? And that's where the name for this part comes from, part 4. Now, part 5, I'll show you whilst I'm here. Here is chapter number 4, verse number 25. I've already found it, and it's part number 5, which starts at verse number 25, and wal muhsanat. Okay, wal muhsanat. That's how it starts. And if I go back to my PDF here, okay, part 4 I showed you. Now part 5, wal muhsanat. Okay, that's what the name of the part is. And it starts in An-Nisa chapter 4, verse number 25. Okay, so this week we've introduced you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts and just shown you how they look at the beginnings of those parts and where those names come from. And it's in order to help you understand that you can divide the Quran Majid up into different portions that you can read. And then that can help you keep a track of where you're reading and how quickly you're reading and how long it will take you to complete one round. Okay, so with that, let's now go back to Surah Al-Buruj, and let me just check which verse I'm supposed to read to 23. Okay, so if I can just go back to here to 23. So, okay. Okay, why did I do that? Okay, not to worry. Okay, so if I can have a student to the mic.
G2633, please unmute yourself.
G2633, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
How are you, darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I am very well. Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, sweetheart. So we are going to move on to the next set of verses. And if you just bear with me, I'm just going to check something. Where are we? We are on the 24th of March, February, aren't we? So let me just check here. Okay, all right. Okay then. So let's carry on from here, okay? فَمَا لَهُمْ
فما لهم
لا يؤمنون.
لا يؤمنون.
Well done. Okay, so here we have a vowel with a sukoon at the top, but there's a hamza there as well, and that's an example of a hamza sakin. Okay, and that's why I said yu'minun. Well done. Okay, here وَإِذَا
وإذا
قُرِئَ.
قرئ
Well done. عَلَيْهِمُ.
عليهم
Well done. This meme is going to join with this lam in the next line. قُرْآنُ لَا يَسْجُدُونَ.
قرآن لا يسجدون
يَسْجُدُونَ.
يسجدون.
Well done. Okay, so let's move on to the next verse here. Okay, from here. These two are going to join. Okay. بَلِ الَّذِينَ
بل الذين
كَفَرُوا
كفروا
يُكَذِّبُونَ.
يكذبون.
Well done. Okay, so one more time, if I can ask you to read from there to there, darling.
فما لهم لا يؤمنون وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون بل الذين كفروا يكذبون.
Mashallah, mashallah. Very nice reading. Okay, a couple of points here. When you do the you, okay, make it a soft jerk. Okay, don't make it a harsh jerk. لا يؤمنون.
يؤمنون.
Okay, and when you're reading here, it's just for one count. Okay, قُرِئَ.
قرئ.
Well done. Okay, here la is for two counts because there's an alif mad straight afterwards. Okay, la. Okay, and then this scene, okay, you just have to join the scene. Sorry, taking that off here. Just join the gene straight off it. Don't make a bounce on there. Yes, Judun.
يسجدون.
Okay, so just be careful when you join in the scene, okay, because you're doing a slight bounce, okay? Yes, Judun.
يسجدون.
Well done. Okay, so that is the yes, darling.
Nothing is okay. After you.
Okay, then. Okay, so that's the verse that we were going to read too. But what I'm going to do now is, where did we start? We started where are we? We started at the beginning of here. Okay, so what I'll do is I will read from there to the end. If you can repeat whilst you're with me, each verse with me, okay, so that we can actually do the end of the whole chapter as well, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so everybody listen and follow along, okay? فَسَوْفَ يَدْعُو ثُبُورًا.
فسوف يدعو ثبورا
وَيَصْلَى سَعِيرًا.
ويصلى سعيرا.
عين عيرا. إنه كان في أهله مسرورا.
إنه كان في أهله مسرورا.
Well done. Watch your timings, okay? It's just one count on the fatha. But okay. إنه ظن أن لن يهور.
إنه ظن أن لن يهور.
Well done. بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا.
بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا.
فلا أقسم بالشفق.
فلا أقسم بالفلق.
Okay, so watch the timings on the short strokes, okay? Just one count. والليل وما وسق.
والليل ما وسق.
Okay, make sure you press down on the lam, okay? والليل وما وسق.
والليل ما وسق.
Okay, and don't forget here. والليل وما وسق.
والليل وما وسق.
Okay, so you have to practice on this, okay? When you're at home, okay? Do it bit by bit, yeah? والليل وما وسق. Okay, so just practice like that.
والليل وما وسق.
Well done. والقمر إذا اتسق.
والقمر إذا اتسق. I'm sorry, that looked a bit like a thaw for 1 minute.
Sorry?
The thought looked like a thaw for 1 minute, so I got confused.
Oh, okay. So there's 2 dots there and there's a tashdid on the top there. That's why. Okay. لَتَرْكَبُنَّ طَبَقًا عَنْ طَبَقٍ.
Oh, that sounds hard. لا تركبن طبقا عن طبق.
Well done, okay? That was a fatha there, okay? So ga. Okay? Let's move on. فَمَا لَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ.
لا, oh sorry. والقمر
فَمَا. Sorry, darling. فَمَا.
sorry. فما لهم لا يؤمنون.
Okay. 2 counts here, okay? So when you're practicing, make sure you pay attention to the timings on that, okay?
Okay.
وَإِذَا قُرِئَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقُرْآنُ لَا يَسْجُدُونَ.
وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون.
Okay, so sweetheart, when you're reading, yeah, always pay attention to the timings, okay? When it's mud, it's 2 counts, okay? Okay, let's carry on. بَلِ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يُكَذِّبُونَ.
بل الذين كفروا يكذبون.
Okay, so Jazakumullah sweetheart for reading along with me, and that's probably why I decided to stop there on the schedule, because there wasn't going to be time to finish. So Jazakumullah, but if you can just stay on the mic, okay, I'll finish reading this because the time is going to run out, and just listen, okay, for the last few verses, okay? وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا يُوعُونَ. فبشرهم بعذاب أليم إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون. So if you can all practice this at home, that would be wonderful. Okay, so sweetheart, Jazakumullah for coming to the mic, and if you can now, let me just see that, go to here. Okay, the homework, just stay on the mic, darling, because you can do the end dua as well, okay? Today we did revision on Madalin and Hamza Sakin, and we practiced in chapter 88. We did actually manage to get to the verse 27, verses 16 to 27, and we saw part 4 and part 5, how they started, and we looked at them in the Holy Quran. They start at chapter 3, verse number 93, and part 5 starts at chapter 4, verse number 25. For your homework, apply the rules that we've revised so far in your daily tilawat. Pay attention to all the rules. And this PDF is available on the drive, and you can use the links here to take you to various different places. If you want to listen to tilawat, access the apps, go to the website. If you want to email us, okay? Okay, reminder that tomorrow is the Jalsa, and the Jalsa in charge has said 5:15 is the right time. She would like everybody that's listed here to join the class, usual route, yeah, on Zoom. Just come to class at 5:15 and you'll have a quick practice run before the Jalsa. Okay, so sweetheart, if you can now read for me the end dua. Okay, so let me just find that. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, so here it is. Would you be able to recite that by yourself, darling?
I'll try.
Okay.
Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'an al-Azim.
MashaAllah. And the English translation?
O Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran the Great.
MashaAllah. Wonderful end to the class there. Jazakumullah for all of your participation. And inshallah, we will meet again tomorrow. But for now, I will end the class with Islamic greetings of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.